This is what the video is kind of about, dogs and people's vendetta against us, that they decide it's a cool idea to assume that we are cruel to our dogs, that we had all 2 of them. Apparently they said, oh, all the dogs you've ever had. It's like, yeah, all 2 of them that have run their lifespan, got ill, organs failing them, they get skinny with old age and then die. And no matter how much you explain that to them, they still insist upon the fact that you are abusive or neglectful to dogs and animals. And it's like, you don't know the situation, mate, you can't judge. Now, I've told my mum that I'm making a video, so she's not to interrupt me, so we'll actually have free reign to make this video and for me to actually stick to the subject of this video. Unlike the last one where I only just started to talk about the actual subject ages into the video. I've told this story before, many times before, but I've never actually managed to make it the focus of the live stream and the main first subject I actually talk about in the live stream. And usually time goes by, and like by the time I get to the subject, people have lost interest or whatever, or they think it's never happening. So I want to make it the main focus of it. So I'm gonna talk about it as best as I can, and then I want to sort of show you something that I've written. So I have discovered a blog that I created when I was about 17. So I told you that we started getting harassed like relentlessly by the local idiots, mainly the stupid hooligan kids, no doubt spurred on by the grown-up hooligans, their parents, and whoever they have in their life that knows about us. Because we moved here when I was like a few months old in 1999 plonk, you know. I was born in, I don't know when exactly we moved here, but basically it was the beginning of my life, so. But I don't remember, I remember us having problems with the neighbours. Like they instantly didn't like us when we moved in. And that was mainly due to the fact that, jealousy, that we were like nobodies and we moved into this big house. And they're like, why should you get the big house and us not have the big house? And it's like, well, you didn't buy the big house, so that's kind of on you. Like, we're just assuming that they're jealous. Well, they must be, because there's no other reason why they should instantly hate us without knowing us first. They didn't even bother. Like, the neighbours and the local people never even bothered to even try to get to know us before judging us and hating us instantly. And, it's like, why? So all we can think of is that it must be jealousy because we live here. Because they don't have a problem with anybody else around here that live in normal houses, terrace houses and the cottages and stuff. I mean, it's like a right mixture of different houses on this street. They're all different. I mean, and there's another big house behind us, the vicarage. So it's like, why don't they get harassed? If it's because we live in a big house, well, they live in a big house, why don't they get harassed by these local idiots? But of course they won't get harassed because they're vicars, the ones who have lived in that house next door have been vicars. So of course that's acceptable. It's acceptable for a vicar to live in a big house, but not for average Joes to live in a big house, apparently. So of course everybody's just assumed that we're rich and that we're probably stuck up or something, and they're jealous. I don't know. And it's like, well, instead of being jealous and judging us, why don't you just buy yourself a big house then? If you're so jealous of it, why didn't you buy the house or find somewhere else to live where there's big houses? I mean, there's like on the main road, there's a few big houses. Why didn't you buy one of those? It's like, it's your own fault why we live in a big house and you don't. It's like, it's not our fault that you don't live in a big house. So if it's about jealousy, that's my logic. My logic is, well, it's your fault for not buying a big house. It's not our fault. So why put the onus on us like it's our fault? It's not like we went, oh, well, you're not allowed to live in a big house, so it's not like we did that. So you can't really have a go at us. But like I say, that's the only thing I can think of as to why. Because other than that, if you rule out, you can't understand why they have taken such a disliking to us. Like, ever since we moved in. And of course, it was my mum, of course, that got the brunt of it. But of course, as I got older and I got more active and more sort of seen and more vocal, I guess, and more out there, more sort of extroverted ish, I'm bearing the brunt of it now, because my mum was more in now, you know, she's not seen as much, she's not as active, like, out there and stuff, so people don't see her as much. So if the kids like come to harass us now, it's mainly me that's going to be out there getting harassed, either on the streets or in my own garden, or as in I don't react to it, because it's like anybody getting harassed is going to automatically go out there and fuck them off, you know, they're going to sort of shout at them and tell them to fuck off and like yell and stuff like that. But people just say, oh, you know, when we did it, it was like, oh, you're just encouraging them, and you're just, you know, you're encouraging them and you're riling them up and stuff like that. It's your fault why they come. It's like, well, what exactly would you do in that situation, mate? I'd like to see how these people, you know, these people who tell us we're doing the wrong things, I'd like to see what they would do. You know, if hooligans came in their gardens and harassed them and vandalized their properties and stuff and called them names and stuff, what would they do? Would they just stay behind their doors and just let it happen? Is that what you're saying, that we should just let it happen? Hey guys, at last, God, I've had people watching this stream for a while, but no, everyone's just like been lurking in the background and not saying anything. Like I say, it's probably the hooligans watching it and staying quiet just to spy on me, because I know they're spying on me. Hey, boss. Yeah, also, why is the stream skinny vertical view these days? Yeah, they're just weirdos. What do you mean skinny? It's always been skinny vertical. Ah, is that better? It just says rotate device, but I don't know what that means. So what does this look like to you? Does this look upright to you? Because to me it looks upright. But probably to you guys it'll be sideways on, won't it? This probably would be better. But then you'll just see like the bottom. That's stupid. No, that's worse. Sorry, I just come from the shower. Okay, that's cool. I like to see that. I'm a pervo too. I like to see you in the shower. Can you make a video of you in the shower? Like, wear Speedo or whatever, you know, swimming trunks or something. I don't want to see that shit, but I want to see your big, fat, sexy, pear-shaped body, because you said you've got a pear-shaped body, so I'd love to see that. I'm going to let you listen to something in a minute. He is naked just in a towel. Yeah. I'd love to see that. That would be great. Okay, so yeah, so that's the story of the beginning. So before we started getting harassed by the hooligans, they didn't know about us then, the actual hooligans themselves, the shitheads and the scumbags from the estate and the other end of my street. They didn't know about us. So it was like the immediate neighbours that lived on this street. Some of them are still the same people as all that those years ago. The two directly across from the gate are, I'm not that big working on it though. Your thick thighs though. I know you've got thick thighs and butts. I know you love my fluffer puffer for rougher puffers. Let me show you my little fluffer puffer for rougher puffer real quick before I get into the story some more. So bear with me, guys. Fluffer puffer for rougher puffer. So here is Mr. Fluffer Puffer Rougher Pup. That's what I. He's the one he had with the with that saleswoman that came a calling to his house, who he seduced and did the naughties with. And then 13 years later, here he is, Jack. He did it right in front of his wife, doing the naughties. And here he is, it's Fluffer Puffer Rougher Pup Jack. He's like a bad boy, just like Jeremiah, but But he's kind of warm to his father now. He likes his father, although he's kind of scared of him, because Jeremiah's very dangerous. He's like a weapon in himself. Jeremiah is very strong and dangerous and powerful. Very evil and very intelligent and very smart and very witty and clever. And here is his grandfather. So that's Jeremiah's father, as you guys know. Not everybody. And that's Jeremiah's son. So they're like, that's his grandfather, that's his grandson. So that's his fluffer puffer ruffer pup. Fluffer puff. I've lost the picture of Jeremiah, by the way, guys. The one I printed off. I tried to print another one off, but it would only print off in like the A4 size, and I don't want that. I want it printed off this size or smaller. Slightly smaller, because Jeremiah is slightly smaller than his dad. Jeremiah's son is slightly smaller than his dad. So it goes like he's the biggest because he's like 7 foot tall. A3. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. He's probably about just slightly smaller than A5, roughly. Well, let's see. This is A5. I think that's A5, isn't it? So yeah, he's a bit smaller. So we've got the whole family here. We've got so that's Lino, and here's Jeremiah's other son that looks more like him in the fact that he's got blonde hair and he's got wings. And he's a falcon wolf. And then you've got the mother. So that's Jeremiah's mother. So the mother is the same colour as him. Lino is black and white. And the mother is blonde like him. Blonde fur. Or, yeah, blonde fur, yellow, like yellow fur. So they're like equal size. In reality, she is smaller than him, but she's still, I guess, a bit tall. I don't know, maybe she's shorter than Swell, fatter, but slimmer than Don Lino. Well, you saw that in the pictures I showed last time, didn't you? Jeremiah's already kind of chubby, isn't he, though? He's got some fat on him. So yeah, they look kind of similar to each other. So he doesn't really look like them, does he? Because he doesn't have wings or pointy ears. But he's got the same fluffer puffer ruffer puffer tail. And he's got the long snoot like Jeremiah. And he's got the smarmy look on his face, the bad boy look on his face, hasn't he? He's got the, like, smug, arrogant look on his face. Fluffer puffer ruffer puffer paws. Anyway, I'm losing viewers, so I'm going to have to go back to the story because I think they'd rather. I'll show you more art afterwards, okay? So I'm waiting for that to bubble all this time, and it's not been bubbling because I forgot to flip the switch! Again, as usual. As per usual. I'm always forgetting to flip that damn switch for the cooker. And this is always coming off, so there's no point in that. I'm going to get my mum to mend it. Anyway, before everybody gets bored, I'm going to continue with the story. So yeah. I hope you like my big family here. And I don't have a picture version of Daisy, so that would be Daisy. So there's Daisy. So imagine a cartoon version of Daisy. Be good if I ever do the live action movie. It'd be good if I could get her to play Daisy, wouldn't it? She'd make a great abused wife, the actual actress, to play Daisy. But by the time I get my film on the go, she's going to be like really old and she won't be able to pull off the character anymore. Because in my story, she starts out as 17, so she's already in her late 30s. You know, the actress that played Daisy. Did you ever get to start the colouring of the full family picture? Bad boy Jack. I mean, Don Lino is the alpha. Yeah, he would offer to be the biggest because he is the alpha. And the alpha is always the biggest. Jeremiah is second alpha, like second in command, I suppose. Not quite equal, really, to Don Lino, but like just slightly below him. The family picture is on the go, and I'll show it you in a minute if you like. Because I'm going to go on the computer in a minute because that's where I want to show you guys something that pertains to the title of this video and what I'm talking about. So I want to do like a big family portrait with everybody, you know. That would be nice, with Don Lino and Jeremiah and his wife Daisy and all the children. I mean, he's got so many kids. It would be a really big project to do the full family. He's got so many kids at this point. He's got so many pups. And the amount of pups he has that he knows about is only a fraction of the amount of pups he has that he doesn't know about and that he's never met. And Daisy is now pregnant with a whole litter. And she's due probably this month to give birth to the pups. And they're going to be the fluffiest, fluffer, puffer, ruffer, ruffer, puffiest pups ever. They're going to be so adorable. And I like to imagine the family, you know, Jeremiah and his wife out with all the fluffer, puffer, ruffer pups. And Jeremiah being a deadbeat dad, not really bothering with them, just maybe playing on his phone or something, you know, you can imagine it. Just like he's at the table at the cafe or whatever, or stood up where, like at the supermarket, and he's just like, doing whatever, talking to girls and cheating on his wife right in front of him or on the phone. And his wife's like trying to handle all these millions of kids that he's got that aren't even hers. Most of them are not even hers. The only kid that's hers is this one. The only child with Jeremiah. That's her only kid with Jeremiah. The rest are all Jeremiah's alone. I don't know why it's actually taken this long for Jeremiah to impregnate her again. But nevertheless, that's how it's gone. It's looking good. I'm really proud of my latest art. I think it looks the most professional and awesome. The family portrait one. I'll show you that one in a minute. Yes. So when I was about, I don't really remember a lot of like harassment when I got older until I was about 10. But yeah, she is really cute, isn't she? Jeremiah will have his wicked way with her as well. Yeah. She is cute. She's the one in my family portrait. So when I was about, I think 9, I think I was. We somehow met. I don't know how we met them, but we met these teenage boys. Supposedly be friends, my friends. But all they did was they just played on the caravan and the lawnmower, and that's all they did. They didn't bother with me. They were quite horrible to me. They either ignored me or flipped me off. So they weren't very nice. I didn't really like them being around, to be honest. I mean, I kind of didn't mind, I guess, but I didn't really bother with me. So it was just like they were there, but they weren't really my friends. And then one day, the parents said that they don't want them to come here, and I guess they told us that. So my mum also banned them from coming here because I guess she was like, you know, on the parents' side and supporting them and saying, well, your parents said you can't come here, so you can't come here anymore. And so they get pissed off about the fact that my mum told them that they can't come here anymore, and they started being really nasty and harassing us. So that was our first harassment. And my mum bent over to pick something up, and the boy, Michael, got a fly swatter and whacked her bum with it. And then they went home to their parents and told the parents that my mum was the one who whacked them on the bum. And then my mum got in trouble for that. They reported us to social services or something. So we got hounded about that. And then they proved that that was not the case and that it was actually Michael who whacked my mum on the bum and not the other way round. And they couldn't get us on that, so then they decided it would be a cool idea. The bloke, the father, I guess, decided it would be a cool idea to report my mum for neglecting me. We got harassed about that. Then they couldn't get us on that because I guess they proved that she wasn't neglecting me. So then they reported my mum about my education, like saying, oh, she's homeschooling her daughter and no, it's not good enough, and we're concerned that she's not getting educated properly. So they reported us to the LEA, the local education authorities, and they made our lives a living hell. Yes, mine as well, because while they were hounding my mum to prove that she was educating me, my mum was a bit more stricter with me, education-wise. So she was always like telling me to do this educational and that educational, and I wasn't interested in most of it, you know. Obviously, she taught me the basics like maths and how to spell and read and write and all that sort of stuff. Anything else was more or less up to me, you know, whether I was interested in it or not. Interested in it. And other things were like non-conventional things you teach kids, like, I don't know, like don't go out alone and don't talk to strangers and don't go in like dark alleys alone, or don't divert from anywhere that's like sex. Like, not how to do it, but she taught me like basically it's best to be in a loving, committed relationship before having sex, and also make sure that your partner is disease free. Make sure they have tests done and get cleared before having sex with them. You know, that sort of thing. Like, she taught me that sort of thing. And I mean, she taught me many things that's not pertaining to the usual curriculum, like, you know, history and algebra and science. She taught me science in the way of cooking. She taught me stuff like that. Like I say, she taught me loads of things that are probably not on the curriculum at schools. I don't actually know what they teach in sex education, by the way, because I know that they teach them quite young in sex education, like 8 or something, probably younger, I don't know now. But I don't actually know exactly what they teach kids in sex education, except how to, you must use a condom. That's it. I think that's all I know about. And they have like a video of 2 bunnies having sex or something. That's what I saw. It was on The Simpsons, wasn't it, where they were having sex education, and they showed like a video of 2 basically furries having sex, furry bunnies, half bunny, half human characters, and they were having sex. I think that's all they teach. So they teach you how to have sex. Okay, that's great. And they teach you to use a condom, and that's it. Probably birth control. And then they just hand it out in the schools, like, go on, 8-year-olds, go and have sex, but don't get pregnant. Like, yeah, okay, brilliant. That's the best sex education ever. Now, Jeremiah would make a better sex education teacher. So he has taught his son all sorts of things in sex. He said how to do it, but also to make sure to respect women, and always make sure that his partner is comfortable and happy before doing anything with them. And as he's doing it, he like would constantly ask, like, oh, is this okay? Is it painful? Is it rough? Is it good? You know, make sure that they're always comfortable, and always make sure that you're in a committed relationship first, and that you respect the person, and that they respect you before having sex with them. And don't pressure. He would teach his son, don't pressure a woman into doing anything. He's still teaching his sons, you know, well. He's still teaching his sons well. How to use a condo. So anyway, you can't really prove any of that in when these LEA people asked my mum to prove like what she was teaching me and everything, and if I'm being educated properly. These were just when me and my mum had loads of conversations. When I was a little kid and growing up, we just had loads of conversations. I mean, my first sex education from my mum was that a man and a woman do a special hug, and that's how a baby's produced. That was my first teaching of it. And then when I was older, she said that basically, now I don't know whether she really described it this way, but this is what I pictured when she was telling me. A man and a woman would be lay side by side naked, and the penis would just wake up like a snake and go inside the woman. That's how I pictured it. Apparently a penis just wakes up, has a mind of its own, and just goes into a woman, apparently, while you're asleep. Okay, so that's what I got the impression of. That's what I was basically taught, but that was when I was a little kid. That is not how it goes. A man has to actually put it in, I think. I don't think a penis can actually spring to life and go, oh, I think I'll go in this hole. I don't think that's how it works. I mean, maybe it does. I did see one time 2 zebras having sex, and the zebra went like this, and I saw the penis go up and actually go into the... I was like, whoa, that's weird. Like, this penis has a mind of its own. By the way, don't worry, I was an adult when I saw that, not a kid. My mum didn't really teach me about like how to have sex other than to do it safely and make sure everybody's happy and ready and nobody's pressuring anybody into doing anything they don't want to do. That's what I was basically taught, not actually how to do it. The classic as it goes. My only reference to the actual science of sex, the actual, how to do it and everything, is like everybody else, how everybody else pretty much learns, which is porn. That's how I learned how you do sex, is by my reference as porn. Yeah. I don't really see how else you do it though. I mean, does it go in the ear? It's like people say, oh no, porn is not an accurate representation of sex. It's like, yeah, it is. How else do you do it? In the ear? It's like, it looks pretty normal to me. I've not seen any. I mean, maybe there's all this weird sex that I don't know about that people have, but I've only ever seen normal sex. Like, most of the porn I saw was of just people doing home videos of them having sex with their husband or wife. But apparently, according to everyone's, porn is just where they have all this acrobatic, weird, bizarre sex. But I've never seen that, to be honest. I've only ever seen normal sex. So, yeah. I think it was a pretty accurate representation. The only thing I'd say is that the only thing that I can think of that is not maybe what people mean when they say that it's not accurate is that you don't have to like suck a man off. I don't know, because apparently not many women like doing the oral sex with a man. So okay, so yeah, you don't have to suck a cock if you don't want to. And a man shouldn't make a woman do this. And the woman shouldn't feel pressured to do it. Like, that's the only thing I can think of, because all these women in porn would be willing to do that. Okay. I haven't really watched a lot of porn, by the way. I just found it mainly by accident, and I was curious and just watched it. Every time I watched porn, it was by accident. I'd find it by accident. Don't ask me how I came across these sites. I just did. I don't come across these sites anymore, I will admit. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to just search for random things, and I used to just look at every website that came up. I used to search for like loads of things as a kid. Any old thing, like see what it came up with, and then I would just click on every website, and eventually I found porn of something. I used to search for, because I was fascinated, I like fat women. I was very into fat women as a kid, and fat men and skinny girls, like the opposite. I was into skinny people as well, like did skinny, like where you could see all the ribs. So I used to search for like skinny girls or fat women or fat men, and I used to find porn. And not porn of fat people, by the way. I used to find porn of just normal people, I guess. I guess what else I found when searching for skinny girls? I found incest porn of father and daughter, and they had these stories of, oh yes, my dad came in my room to help me with my homework, and then it just happened, and oh, he started kissing, and oh, he started undressing me, and so is this real? I thought it was real. I thought daughters really do this. Ew, that's weird. But it was fascinating. I thought it was different. I didn't really judge them as such. I thought it was a bit weird though, like bizarre. But I was like, okay. It was bizarre. If I find the father and daughter porn, that's what I found by chance. I didn't search for it. I found it by chance. I don't know how. Seeking cock heat. Also, men don't need to put stuff on women's face when they have come. It's true, you can flexi a boner. It's just like a normal muscle. Stepsister was meta, or maybe still is. And yeah, I thought it was bizarre. And then I found these dog things where these like pedigrees, and I used to like the mother had sex with the son and produced a litter, and it's like, I remember being dead shocked at that. I thought, how did you let this happen? Like, because these are breeders. People are breeding the dogs, and I'm like, how wouldn't the breeders know that that's a mother and son? and stop it happening. And it's like, why are they letting this mother and son or father and daughter dogs have the sex and have the puppies? But apparently that's how they breed. That's how they do it. But I used to think that that was really bizarre and like really wrong and bad. Is that how most dog breeds come out? Yeah, they do in the beginning, but like this is like modern stuff. That's how they start, but you don't have to continue the inbreeding because that just makes them have health problems. I remember thinking that was really bizarre and weird. Sometimes the pups go back with the mother. Oh my god, it's so cute. It's still cute. Little puppies. Anyway, and I found this it was called something like femalemasturbation.com or something. Look it up if you want, but I found it many years ago, and one of the stories was that this woman decided it would be a cool idea to encourage her dog to lick her private part. It was rife actually, not just this. There was also a confession site that I found again by chance, and called grouphug.com, and there was this like stories of a woman getting her dog to lick her private parts, and they said it was the best masturbation thing she ever had. I guess because the dog's got a nice rough tongue or something, and you know the long muzzle, like Jeremiah. Put dog treats down there. Well, one of them, a teenage boy, tied his little brother to a tree naked and then poured gravy over his genitals and let the dogs lick it off. That's one of the stories, but I don't know how the women did it. I think they put peanut butter there or something. I think that's how the women did it. Yeah. Gravy, though. Bestiality or something. I don't know. I mean, it's just licking the bits. I don't really think it's really that bad. It'd probably be like dead bad if they actually had proper sex with them. So yeah, I think they put peanut butter on their private parts or something. I'm really diverting from the subject of this video though. But I'm just telling you about the crazy stuff I used to find on the internet. I don't find this crazy stuff anymore. I don't know how I found it back then. Ah. I have found porn of that as well. Yeah. Porn of women being fooked by horses. And the women were actually My Little Ponies, but they're in human form. That's what I found. That was more recent, actually, like last year at some point I found it. Again, I have no idea how I come across. There's sex on anything on the internet. Yeah. Yeah, for me, it was just quite intriguing to me. I found it sort of intriguing, like I was curious about it. God, it was such a magical time growing up and discovering all these new things. I wish I could find these strange, weird things again, to be honest. But I don't even know how I did it back then. I really don't. Like, the horse didn't end up doing damage. It would do. It would do. It probably would do. The internet is safer these days. I don't know. I mean, I just don't search for things anymore. Unless I'm searching for something like, oh, why do I have a pain in my lower abdomen? Like, that's about the kind of search I do now. Like, oh, why do I have a pain here? Or what does it mean when I have a pain there? You know, that's the kind of thing I search for these days. Yeah, the dark web. I think I ended up in the dark web most of the time when I was... Because you got, like, went to a rabbit hole. That's how I discovered furries, you know. I actually discovered furries by... I used to look up dog breeds when I was a kid, and I used to discover like dog websites, like, you know, breeders or personal dog websites of German Shepherds, Huskies, Pomeranians, and stuff like that. And I would they had like something called a web ring, and it said like next website. So I'd click on next website, or it would have like a page saying links to other websites, and I'd click on them. And that's how I found a majority of the websites, and some of them wouldn't be dog websites, there'd be something else. Most of them were dog websites as well. But that's how I found furries, because I found this page and it had a picture of a furry, and I was like, whoa, what's that? That looks beautiful. That looks really cool. And I remember I want to be one of those. When I was 14, that's when I discovered furries. It was like a picture. I don't know why it would be on a dog website though. But that's how I discovered furries anyway, when I was 14. And I thought I want to be one of those. So at the time my persona before I discovered furries was a dog, German Shepherd, and there it is, you can see it in the background. And I was just a normal dog, you know, on all fours, but I could talk and think like a human. But I wasn't like an upright, part human, part dog thing. But when I discovered furries, I was like, oh, I want to be one of them. They look really cool. So my very first persona was a raccoon, because I'd seen some raccoon furries and I thought they would look cool. And I wanted to be something with a fluffy, puffy tail. And my brother was a skunk. Google and like the censors of the internet, BJ. Internet was much. Right, I'm gonna go get the pies now. I'll be right back. Actually, this says microwave pies. I could just do them in the microwave. But what does it say the cooking instructions are? It doesn't have cooking instructions. Oh, that's nice to know, isn't it? Absolutely feck all. Now there's the preheaty thing. See, I couldn't find these bloody things when I actually couldn't do anything except for in the microwave. I couldn't find microwavable anything. But typical, now I've got an oven. I can find oven things. Now, do I have to take the pies out of their containers? I keep forgetting. It doesn't say to take them out of their containers, so I'm just going to put them in as is then. Their little pie container things. Put them in the bottom, top, because I remember last time I burnt the darn things. I am not going to do them for 50 minutes. I'm just going to do them for 20 on one side, 20 on the other, and see how they go. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to show you the thing now, guys, okay? I'm going to take you in a room that we've never been in before. Probably have been at some point. It's very dark. Remember when we put the phone? There should be a grill. My acid and floopy. Like Flooper's Mew. Flaccid and floopy. Yeah, it does. It's disgusting, isn't it, in the microwave? Ah, here's Jeremiah and his sexy, long snoot muzzle thing. I want to show you something really cool. I'm going to make him talk.
Hello, my name is Jeremiah, and you're stupid.
That's the sentiments from Jeremiah. That's sentiments from Jeremiah to the people around here, including Donna Hans, aka the Troll Woman. You're stupid. Because you have had a vendetta against us since I was 10 for no reason at all. Apart from the fact that you've decided it's a cool idea to blame us for the dogs getting ill with old age. And now I'm gonna show you something else. I found a better one. It's not responding. Hang on a minute. I've just been watching a kitten video though, so I'm waiting for it to load. Look, see, it's not to respond. Kittens. So while we wait, let's look at Jeremiah and his lovely long muzzle. Isn't it very sexy? And he's got blood on his lips there because he's been eating something. Yeah, I found some real fluffer puffer ruffer puffers. Real fluffers. Isn't he sexy and handsome? Look at his thick hips and stuff. He looks very embarrassed right now because I'm looking at his crotch area. He doesn't look very happy about it. He's looking at me like, what the hell? Oh, sorry, this is very boring. Look, it's just blank. How very dare it be blank? Well, while we're waiting, I'll show you the thing. There we go. So that's what it looks like at the moment. The family portrait. I've just managed to do them too. She's going to be in a dress in the end. I've decided to have her like this. And the clothes will be separate in a separate layer. Just like him. He's naked, actually. I did him originally naked. And 6 eyes. So yeah, you can see he's chubby. That's what he looks like under the suit. He's got a nice overhanging belly. And if you can see, he's got teats. He got teats. I was trying to figure out whether I should make Daisy just a human or not. She's not got teats. I'm going to... I'm just randomly picking something. That's no good, is it? Random layer. And that's where I'm up to with that one. I've not worked on this for several weeks, so I feel very guilty about that, but I don't know why. I'm not happy about the shading on his face though, because it makes his face look like a really weird shape. So I'm going to have to do something about that. You have no clue what the hell is going on with his eyes either. I don't know what's going on there at all. His head's like way too big and all, like for the rest of the body. Way too big. Don't know how I ended up. I don't know where I went wrong. Finally. You wouldn't let me do anything. I think it's because I did like loads of them things. What do you call these where there's like a big gap between the next lot of text? Don't look too bad though, just needs some dark shading. Don't want to make it too... Why does it say error? No, it's determined. Right, never mind. Well, this isn't too good, is it? It's supposed to be there already. Stupid me for closing the damn thing. This stupid thing that I get up. This, is it Bing? I don't know what the hell it is. It's just new tab and it comes up with this thing. I think it's like just MSN news page thing. And it's always got some news article about people losing weight. Pisses me off. Like there's a picture of a perfectly sexy and handsome chubby man, and of course, oh, is it going on about how he's lost weight? And I'm like, yeah, big whoop. Call me when it's about someone being proud of their fat body and proud to show it off. Not, oh, look at me, I've lost weight. You forget that. Anti-diet web pages. No, we just need pro people being chubby and being happy being chubby and showing how attractive being chubby is. That's all they need. Okay. Okay, so I've got this blog that I made when I was 17 where when all the shit happened with the kids. That's when they all started up again, being assholes. So I created this blog at the time and I did rant and rave about Kirsty S. but it was whereby she was texting me horrible messages and I was like retaliating to her, but I never really sent those messages. But when I posted it on my blog for fun, just for a laugh, people got really nasty about it. I'll let you hear that in a bit if you like. About our history with the whole harassment thing. So I'll let you listen to it now. What just happened? Oh no. Oh no. Something's gone wrong here. I feel I'm... Oh shit! Oh no, please don't save it. Okay, yeah, I want my thingies to be lost. I want my changes to be lost. I think I've just pasted something. I don't know. Phew. I think instead of copying, I think I pasted. Okay.
Dear readers, remember that hooligan girl that harassed me and my
I don't know if you can hear it, just let me
the
know.
years whose messages I featured in blog posts from the past on here? Well, some incidents with her mother have occurred recently that resemble
Pretend it's
ghosts
Jeremiah
from the past. But
talking.
before I get into recent events, I must tell you a story from the past, maybe multiple I haven't already told in full on this blog before. All the harassment and bullying first occurred when I was about 10, maybe before then, but happened more after then. We had a half lab, half pit bull mixed dog at the time who we had for quite a number of years by then, and he was starting to get old and developed health problems including heart murmur, allergies, incontinence, diarrhea, digestive problems, and ended up losing a lot of weight despite being well fed on a diet prescribed by the vet of chicken and rice, canned dog food and pasta. Of course, he was also under a vet. He would often mosey on down to the gate where he was visible. The local people, including the hooligans, saw him and assumed he was being neglected and starved, and thus at some point some busybody decided it would be a cool idea to report us, my mum mainly, to the RSPCA for animal neglect.
Yeah, they have.
Inspectors came around and proof of his being under a vet was provided in a letter to confirm that his problems were of no fault of my mum's, but just bad luck and old age. Not only did the vet provide letters of proof, but also talked to the inspectors himself. The inspectors also saw that his living conditions were more than fine. They also witnessed that he was bouncy, confident, and friendly, which wouldn't be the case if he was neglected or abused. If he had been neglected slash starved slash abused, he would have no energy and be withdrawn slash scared slash anxious slash shaking. They had all the proof they needed, but nevertheless continued to hound my mum. One inspector in particular had a bee in her bonnet and was determined to get her on animal abuse and harassed us for ages after. This put my mum under a tremendous amount of stress to the point she started developing health issues important for later. At the same time, we also started to get harassed slash tormented and bullied. I was 15 of a heart attack brought on by his fear of thunder. He passed away after a thunderbolt hit close by our house, causing him to panic and run for Mum's attention. She comforted him, stroking him, and talked to him up until he left us. After this, my mum developed eczema and started to complain of problems with her legs and walking difficulties. The local youths started tormenting and harassing us relentlessly. At this point, two gangs in particular, one led by that girl from previous stories, Kirsty S., and another leader, a male youth, called Kyle W. It seemed she led the girl gang, and he led the boy gang. I didn't understand why these kids were causing us so much grief at the time. It couldn't be to do with a dog,
What
because
is
they
he
had no way of
doing?
knowing our situation. Plus, they never mentioned the dog at all or us neglecting him when they slurred and threw insults and jibes our way. Their harassment included screaming obscenities, slurring insults at us, damaging property, smashing our fence panels, causing thousands of pounds worth of damage, removing bricks from our wall, smashing up the car, smashing our windows, nicking any laundry on the line, trespassing, banging on our door or windows, throwing stones at our windows, throwing stones at me, my mum, or either of our dogs if we were in the garden slash grounds, throwing bottles that smashed, trashing and setting our caravan on fire, damaging our gates, damaging our sit-on lawnmower. None of this included dog neglect. The insults and reasons for harassment were, "You're weird, you're a witch." They thought my mum was a witch and that I was just weird in general. They once spoke to my mum and asked her if there was something mentally wrong with me, and if that's the reason we had the big wall and the gates were locked, to keep me fenced in. Still nothing about dog neglect. When I was 15 or 16, we got our second dog, my second dog in my lifetime, JD the Brown Brindle Lab Mix, who looked the same as our previous dog Waldrick but slightly smaller. I think he may be mixed with a greyhound. Another healthy, bouncy, friendly puppy dog. He was scared when he first came to us because his previous owners were abusive. He quickly gained confidence with us though. We had a bit of a reprieve from the harassment of the youths. But years later, when I was 17, they started up harassing us again. This time it was me that was the one mainly involved. My mom wasn't as involved in the harassment as she was before. At this point, she was slightly more frail due to the development of her health problems and untold stress she'd had to deal with for years before. Not always have. She always has tried to mind her own business. If they couldn't get us on one thing, they tried to get us on another. They couldn't stand that we were always blame-free. Anyway, so because I was sick of these scoundrels giving my mum grief, I decided to fight her corner, and I was the one who constantly went out and told them to go away and leave us alone. Stop being this and that, whatever they were doing, usually damaging property. I started recording them with my camcorder whenever I caught them trespassing or climbing our wall or damaging our stuff. Of course, I would call the police, but by the time they'd come, the scumbags would be gone.
They're
The
fucked
police
off.
told me to keep getting footage of them and reporting them
Footage?
anyway. But later on, the kids complained about my recording them. I was like, well, if you don't like being on my videos, don't come to my property and cause problems then.
Simple.
I was also told that the way I handled them was actually encouraging them to come. The police and the neighbors accused me of this. I'm sorry, but I would absolutely love to see how these lot would handle it if they had to put up with kids relentlessly pestering you and causing you grief. I'm pretty sure that any one of these arseholes would react the same way as I did. I even got accused of chasing them. Yeah, I did. When they came onto my property, I would chase them out, usually in order to prevent them from causing any more damage. What do you suggest? That I allow them to stick around and break stuff? My mom was so sick of the accusations that she advised me to just stay inside, ignore them, and just let them get on with their vandalizing.
Vandalizing.
We can't win.
Fuck
If
it.
we try to stop them, we get accused of encouraging them.
Yep.
End of part 1. Read next post for part 2.
Yeah. I didn't want to make it like a dead long post, so. Okay, hopefully it won't. What's it? If you want to read this blog properly, fully, then you can do. This is quite fun. Now this time I'm gonna copy it, not frickin' paste it.
This is part 2 of the scintillating story of the harassment me and my poor, disabled mother have had to put up with for about 20 years, and it's still happening today. DYTHESAMEPEOPLE, who started it when I was 10. Same people featured in this post from years ago. In this blog post, I shall include videos of the harassment and bullying from the past and present.
I can't find them by footage of where Donna Hans came up to me and started having a go at me about the dog, you know, the very first time where I caught it on live stream. Well, it's gone. I tried editing it so you just got to see that bit, but I accidentally deleted the part where she came up to me, you know, that half. So the half where I first started recording up until then has been kept. But the part from where she had a go at me about the dog being skinny and stuff and me explaining the situation, that bit's gone. So I haven't got that anymore. I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm really pissed. So I've just got that second incident in the local shop, which hopefully you guys have seen. Issa won't have seen it because, of course, he doesn't have a link. I'll have to give it to him somehow, but I don't know how. I give it to you guys in here, but I'm not sure if I can. I don't know how to like put a link in here. If Brad could do it, that would be great.
I might miss in these blog posts. If it becomes too long, I might have to make a part 3. So when I was about 17, the harassment started by other youths that I did not know. This harassment started full force after I dressed up as a wolf for Halloween. For a laugh, I also howled in my garden. It caught the attention of some kids who were near my age, about 12 to 17, and at the time I lost a couple of friends, so I was open to the idea of making some new ones. These kids came to me out of curiosity and we started talking. They actually like my wolf persona and seem to find it fun, so they came every day to talk to me. I also thought it was fun to dress as a wolf, and so I did it for a little while after Halloween. Some of them got a bit ballsy and started teasing me. When this happened, I would walk away and come into the house. I forgot to mention that me and those kids chatted over my
Yeah,
wall.
please
They
do. I don't care if
continued to
people
come
see
back
it.
to my wall or gate every day and call on for me. I would go over to give them another chance, but eventually they started getting more and more nasty with me every time. As far as I know, I never said anything to offend them. They would randomly
I don't
start
care.
insulting me or spitting in my
I want them to
direction.
see it.
Each time I merely walked away and came into the house. I wasn't going to take that shit. After about 3 or 4 chances, I stopped going over to the wall when they called me, and I would either stay away but stay outside, or I'd go inside the house. Now they started calling me names and hurling insults at me or rattling the gate. Then they started throwing stones and bashing the fence panels again. If they came onto the property, I would chase them out and maybe shout at them to leave us alone. Ever since then, I have been known as Wolfie the Freak or Wolfie the Weirdo. I
Wolfie.
haven't dressed up or acted like a wolf, even though I found it fun to do. I didn't want to encourage the bullying, so I had to give up something I discovered I loved, cosplaying. Now, I have always loved to dress up, especially as animals, ever since I was a kid, as kids do. I just never really grew out of it. But I received them. I also discovered furries who are adults, who like to dress up as animals. Also innocent fun. You get the odd person who's sexualized it, and most
Sexualized.
non-furries think that it's a sexual deviant scene. It isn't. You just get your odd groups of furries who fetishize it. I suppose I classed myself as a furry. Then I discovered team werewolves and Furians, who are people who believe they have the spirit of an animal, and thus like to honor this by wearing a tail, ears, color, and other accessories of their spirit animals.
Colour.
I felt I could be a Furian too. I felt it was possible I could have been a wolf or a wolf-like dog in a past life. It definitely felt like a spiritual thing, thus my Furian side, and the fun side was my furry side. I'll definitely make an educational post about both Furians and furries for context later. These hooligans' reason for bullying me was apparently because I was weird and I have some sort of mental illness. Even if this is true, it does not make it right. If my dressing up is a result of my weirdness or having a mental illness, it harms no one and shouldn't concern any of these people and shouldn't make it acceptable for them to bully me all those years ago, and more so now, as this sort of thing is more accepted now. All kind of things that used to be considered weird and strange are all becoming more accepted now. But I find even in 2022 I am still being treated as if I am exceptionally weird. That somehow gives these people a right to make my life and Mom's life a living hell. It does not. During this time, when I was 17, I created my very first Facebook profile, named Dorian S. Somehow I ended up with all those hooligan local kids on my friends list. Or maybe they weren't added as friends, but they found me and attacked me in private messages constantly. Now they had access to me to bully me further. I
Online.
usually fought my corner and then blocked them. One of them was Kirsty S., who has been featured on this blog before. Her mother also got in touch to say her piece. Again, none of this included anything to do with the dogs. I also somehow got in touch with a sister, Leslie, of the mother, Donna, Kirsty's aunt. I told her about all the problems I was having with her family and their hooligan friends coming round to harass us and bully us on FB. She was very understanding and acted as mediator between us. She proceeded to ask Kirsty and her friends why they relentlessly harassed me and Mom. According to Kirsty, they were harassing us because of the debacle with a previous dog who
Debacle.
they had somehow seen and accused us of starving and abusing him. I explained the situation regarding the dog. I can't remember.
The reason why they harassed us was because of they thought we were abusing dog, the previous dog Baldrick. It's because they couldn't very well tell the aunt, oh well, we harassed them because they're weird. That wouldn't hold up in a court of law, would it now? That wouldn't hold up anywhere. Would it? I mean, if any reasonable people heard them say that, they'd just think, oh, for fuck's sake, get over it. Yeah, okay. So these people are weird. Like, who cares? Like, that's not a legitimate reason to bully people, is it? Except maybe in school, and even then it's not acceptable. It's just like, get a life, jeez. And I know that this woman, this Donna Hans, doesn't give a shit about the dogs. All she wants is a way to get us. Get us. You could leave it up, Brad. I don't care if anyone sees it. Like, they can report it for all I care. I don't really care. The only reason why I didn't want to put it public was because I know Waz will have a go at me for recording in his shop. But you know what? I don't give a shit anymore. I don't give a shit, even if Waz sees it and goes up in arms. I'm not even going in there anymore. I'm not bothering to go in there anymore because of the way Bloody Ali treats me. And the fact that I'll probably run into Donna the mole troll woman. So I'm not going in there anymore. So if she has a problem with me recording in there, I don't give a shit. I can record whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I want, so I don't give a shit. People need to see these people showing up for the assholes and bullies that they are.
Casters are S off our back for a
Fuckers.
while, but I doubt it. They continued to
She
harass
was on the
us until
phone.
I was 24 and
Yeah.
Mom had a heart attack due to the stress. When I was 22, she got so bad disabled and boy, she could barely do anything and she had to use a wheelchair to go
They don't
out,
record
no doubt
me
due to all the
for some
stress.
reason.
After her heart attack and she came home from hospital, not long after, a gang of hooligans came in late at night when we were trying to have a quiet.
I recorded mainly for my safety because she actually came up to me and threatened to put me on the floor. That's what she said, and I thought, well, if she does that, I'll have been recording, so you know that'll be classed as assault. I could get her done for that. If she attacks me and I'm recording, I can get her done for that. So I actually kind of hope she does something, because then I can get her done for something legitimate. Then I tried calling the police, by the way, that day, but she'll be on CCTV as well. Yeah. She would never put me on the floor. I don't believe that's an empty threat. She knows very well that if she put me on the floor, as she put it, that she will get done by the police. Especially, she didn't even know I was recording that day. I don't think she didn't know. But if she did know, I'd say I'm recording for my safety because you just threatened me, for God's sake.
Time and watch TV. I think we must have paused the program because it was silent. Mum probably closed her eyes to have a little sleep and boom. A big bang came from the window due to the scumbags throwing a stone or something at it. It scared the heck out of us both. I ran out there and bellowed at them, informing them that my mum has recently had a heart attack and it was most probably caused by the block, and this racket wasn't helping. They must have been nearby. We didn't have another problem with them for a year. They must have heeded my word and decided to leave us alone because they didn't want to go too far and possibly cause a death. The problem is that these kids think that what they're doing is harmless because they're not directly harming us, but they fail to realize that years of their aggression and nastiness causes stress. Stress causes the body to freak out, cause damage and wear over time. This should be something these idiots should be taught in schools. I believe there is a class dedicated to teaching kids not to bully black people and to accept them, but I bet there is no class to teach kids the dangers of bullying and harassing ANYONE and the upset and damage it can cause someone mentally and physically. By this time it was a different lot of kids. By now, Kyle W. had apologized and never gave us grief again, and Kirsty S. sort of apologized by coming one day to say she wasn't here to cause trouble but to just talk. After that, she never bothered us again. Her mother, Donna H., would always smile and let on if she saw me. That was until recently. End of part 2.
Yeah. Brad just sent me a message on Messenger, I think, but I can't look at it now. Otherwise, it'll cut off this. Oh, I've lost it. Hang on. Where I was up to. So I showed you that one. I showed you that one. Now, this one's the most recent incident that happened. I'd put a load of swear words if I could, but I don't want people thinking I'm... I actually put the link here to it. I can show it you on here, actually. It's like just a bit of it. I'll just... Yes, just a question for private is all. That's if they'll probably, because after I've not used a tab for a while, it does this, as you can see. How it's doing, it's not responding. We do it live. Fuck it. We do it live. Oh, it's doing something now. I've made my stuff monetized. Hey, look, it's showing me live now. Look at this. It's not monotonized. I wonder if I can monotonize it right now. Oh, I just finished doing it stupid, not responding crap. Come on, hurry up. I want to monotonize. What? No! No, I don't want to do that right now. It's going to take me away from doing this. Oh, I'm just going to put proceed, but I don't really want to do it this right now. It's going to make me do something on my phone, isn't it? That's going to take me away from the live stream. Ugh. Help. Oh, it wants me to put my password. Oh, I've not had to sign in for such a long time, I don't even know if I remember it. Oh, it's auto-what's-itted. It's okay, it's auto-what's-itted. Don't fook about with it right now, then. It's okay, it just wants me to sign in, that's okay. Oh no, here we go. Oh, crap. It's okay, it's doing it. I hope. I think I'm back live again. Well, I won't mess with it right now, but I just want to show my videos. Sorry about the shitty keyboard. Right, I'll show you. I'm just going to show you the bit where she threatens me, just real quick. Basically, I just named it Crazy Woman. Has a go at me, basically. Yeah, she was on the phone and she said, just a minute, while I go and harass the weird Wolfie the weirdo. Alright, I'm playing the video now, but I don't want to show it. I just want you to hear it. Did you hear that? 1 minute.
Nod your head again at me coming in the shop and I'll fall.
Did you hear that? Nod your head at me coming in the shop again and I'll floor you. It's as far up as I can get it. Put it near the speaker. 1 minute.
Just hang on 1 minute, love.
Just
hang on. Nod your head again at me coming in the shop and I'll fall you. How dare you report me? I know it was you.
I know it was you. It's not really very interesting. I didn't say all that I wanted to say, but never mind. I'm really pissed off that I didn't get to say everything I wanted to say.
Here is part 3 of the scintillating tale of Sane versus the Insane, my story of bullying and harassment by the same people, including some new faces, that was to last 20 plus years. It has lasted 20 years up until now, but seems that it might continue into my living golden years at this rate. We fast forward to the beginning of this year, December 2021 to January 2022, and our recent dog, whom we have had for 15 years by January, as that was when we got him, fall down a lot, and then he started to refuse his food. We tried him on different food until we found ones that he would eat. He would eat those for a while and then refuse those too. Then we would try him on something else and he'd eat that for a while but then would refuse that. Eventually, within a short space of time, he was refusing all food except for corn chicken ham slices. Then he refused the corn ham. Then he stopped drinking. I took him to the vet at 11 p.m. at night Saturday 15th of January, and the vet said that his organs were failing and there was pretty much nothing they could do. He was dying of old age and all they could do was keep him alive on a drip for the rest of his life, so she said that the best thing would be to let them put him down. She said that we did a very good job keeping him well and going for 15 years, that we obviously did everything right. Yeah, idiots didn't feed him crack this time. With our previous dog Waldrick, they would feed him chocolate and all sorts of things that contributed to his illnesses. My mom was loath to take him to a vet in his condition because he looked so skinny. She knew that if the local judgmental idiots got one look at him, they'd start accusing and reporting us again. The fact that we managed to take him at night into a vet that was located further afield helped was not done by design but just because it was the only vet open at this time and Mom didn't want to wait until next day to take him. She was too worried now that he wasn't drinking. Unfortunately, days before, some moron left the gate open and JD bolted and escaped, heading for the main road where undoubtedly loads of people got a good eye full of his failing condition. I explained the situation to the women who spotted him and told me where he was so I could go and get him. The three women I encountered seemed to be understanding and none of them were foes. Alas, a few days later I was confronted and hounded by Donna, Kirsty's mother, about how bad the dog looked. I told her the situation as well after telling me several times that the dog looked disgusting and we were starving it. She seemed to accept what I told him and walked away. But as I passed by, she continued to have a go at me and tell me that dog is disgusting. I'm like, yeah, well, he's been put down now, so leave us to grieve. I didn't say that, but I wish I had. I just ignored her and thought her sentiments were nasty. She clearly didn't believe me and continued to believe he'd been starved and neglected. Stupid woman. Luckily, I caught the whole thing on camera. I had told her he had been seen by a vet and she basically threatened to call them. I called them and told them what happened. The woman on the phone said that she wouldn't disclose anything anyway, because it's confidential. This whole situation really is none of her business. The next week or so we got a visit from the RSPCA again. I explained the situation to him as well, and he confirmed once again that this constant reporting was malicious as he did the previous year when they reported us to them for something else. They had put on the notes that it was malicious reports from someone who clearly has a problem and is trying to get us on any old thing that they can. That was done and dusted and I figured that it was her that reported us. I can't confirm, but next time I see her I will have it out with her. Fast forward to last Thursday, when I'd just come home from having a very painful blood test done by someone who clearly didn't know what they were doing and I didn't feel well and had a painful arm all day. I called into the local shop to get some bits and post off an important letter. While at the post office, a woman cut in to be served as I was taking a pic of the letter next to the active serving booth. I thought fair enough I was not in the queue as such, so I let it slide. Then I realized it was HER. I wish I had left, but I didn't want her to think I was afraid of her, so I went back into the queue to make sure nobody else came along and got in there first. She was on the phone. Eventually, when finished at the booth, she said, 1 minute, to whomever she was on the phone to, and then came at me in a threatening way, saying, if you nod your head at me again, I'll floor you, or something of the like. Luckily, I had the good sense to start recording on my phone. I knew she might start trouble. She started having a go at me for starving the dog again, and yet again I told her that I'd already explained the situation, that he was old and his organs were failing, and I tried to remind her again that he went to a vet, but she overtalked me and continued to go on about how it's all the dogs you've had. Yeah, all two dogs, who have lived long, lived in between getting each one. If they had indeed been neglected, they wouldn't have lived long now, would they? First one lived 12 years and the other lived 15 years. They both died of ill health due to old age, and I tried to explain this, but yet again she would have none of it and continued to overtalk me. I said it was her that got them hooligans to harass me all those years. She denied it, saying, didn't have to, it's because you're weird. Well now, I said, I'm weird? You're the weird one, and then she said, what's that got to do with you abusing dogs? Well, it has because people like her accused me and my mom of abusing slash neglecting our two dogs. But now she's telling me it's just because I'm weird. Years ago, her daughter told us that the harassment was due to the alleged dog abuse slash neglect. Now she's admitting that all the harassment was just because I'm weird. They know that they haven't got a leg to stand on. They know we have done nothing wrong. They have just wanted to pick on any little slip-up or perceived mistake we make so they have an excuse to bully us. Yeah, that's more like it. I KMOW and have always known that this harassment and grief they gave us all these years was for no reason whatsoever. They're all just horrible people, horrible kids, horrible neighbors. This is truly the neighborhood from hell. Of course, unfortunately, I have nobody at all to back me up because nobody is on my side. Very sad. It's basically me against this lot. They still give me grief to this day. If it was up to me, I'd move away from this area. Not to let them win, but because I feel that I deserve to live in an area where I am accepted for who I am and surrounded by loving people and have a chance to make some wonderful friends who will enrich my life. I feel I'll always be held back as long as I live in this hellhole and it won't do me any good. Alas, my mum won't move. She loves the house.
Loves,
I'm a
not
full-time carer,
loved.
so I can't move out on my own. It's a hard situation. I have tried to make the best of it, but it has not been easy. I feel sad that I've wasted the best years of my life on a place and a people that have no tolerance, no understanding, no kindness for people like us. Nothing but hate and stress. I feel that I must
Yeah.
apologize to myself for the rest of my life, for having suffered fools for so long and for depriving myself of happiness for so long. But I have no choice. I worry that if I have to put up with this, the same shit as my mum went through, I may end up like her, disabled, in permanent pain, sleepless nights and misery. These kids call me a wolf. Feel more like Gray. They act more like wolves than I.
Well, that's the end of that one. So now I'm going to show you the very first post I made about the hooligan girl. I can't remember which one it is. This says part 2, but wait, no, this is not the one, is it? I don't know. This is really part 2. I don't know where part 1 is. Ah, it's this one. It's got like a load of caps, so it probably might actually spell it out. I did tell everybody that this was just for fun, really, and entertainment, and it wasn't really what I actually said to the girl. But everyone was so judgmental in the comments section of this blog post, blaming me, instead of seeing that this girl, Kirsty, was the problem.
This is a very nasty message from this stupid meaning little girl who has taken a hate into me for God knows what reason, and she sent me this message out of the blue, and below is all the things I want to say that, but
Hope you
I
can
didn't
hear it
want to get
properly.
involved. WARNING. This text contains a lot of swearing and I was pissed off, and it makes my nasty but the brutal truth messages sound more intense. 06/12/09KIRSTYSULLIEANUAREFUKINUGLYREAKWHONEDSTORTTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDSTORTHEREAKWHONEDS You're a weird cunt, okay? Andy, tell anyone you like about this cause it's the fucking truth. Your mom is a weird cunt, Andy, so are you. For one, you shouldn't have any animals, Andy. For two, you didn't know how to look after them, Andy. For three, you can't afford them, can you? You're just a scruffy edging little girl who never went to school cause your mommy is too fucking tipsy to let you go.
You have to
You
read it.
haven't never been out of your garden, Andy. All you do all day is spy on people who walk past.
All I do. Yeah, that was only a fraction of my day, love. Sorry, it says, Kirsty Sullivan, you are a fucking ugly freak who needs to sort their fucking life. And you did steal a cat cause you're a weird cunt, okay? And tell anyone you like about this cause it's the fucking truth. No, it wasn't. Your mum is a weird cunt and so are you. You shouldn't have animals. And you heard that bit, didn't you? It's actually saying it right. Don't know why it started off spelling it instead of saying it. Tit 3 instead of tight. So yeah, she's got a beautiful way of spelling. And the people in the comments section basically agreed that she was in the right and I was in the wrong or something. Preview. Trying to get the bit where the comment section is, but I don't know whether I'll see it here. Oh, here we go. So this is what was said here. Kirsty doesn't seem to have put her views across very well, but judging by the rest of your dreadful, ignorant, redundant, grammatical minefield of a blog, she's absolutely right. Someone who gives themselves a title and openly professes to be posh is clearly a faker. We're certainly no class. My grandfather is titled, he actually is a lord, and so am I, love. And our family have a nice life, but by our own admission we didn't earn it, and so we have no right whatsoever to lord it over those less fortunate or less educated than us. That's not what I was doing. I was only having a go at her because she bullied me. You are definitely no better than this Kirsty. You're actually quite repugnant. You are not posh, and your mother really should consider sending you to school. Your ignorance, arrogance, and delusions. Oh, yeah, as if I'd be better at going to school. People who come out of school end up like this Kirsty Sullivan. Delusions are even more offensive when they are expressed as badly as this. See, I expressed myself fine. It's just that I was pissed at the time, so I probably put more swear words than I would normally, and I didn't even send it to that person, and I put that. This makes me laugh. This is the perfect example of why children should go to school. It's to enable them to mature and grow up. Yeah, right, as if school makes that happen. Learn life and social skills. No, it doesn't. It just teaches kids to be bullies. Otherwise, children don't grow up and remain childish. You need to get out in the world and stop living behind a wall. But drop the whole posh act. It won't make you any friends in the real world. You just sound like a fool. I actually feel bad for you. I never did that. But it doesn't matter whether I'm nice or not, these people still treat me like the bad guy. So then I replied, you don't know what I have been through with this girl and her friends, Angus. I added the swear words for dramatic effect. I didn't actually swear like that in my original comments to her. But how could you feel for her and not me? I never did anything to these people. These people have been harassing me and my mum for many years before I blew up at her in this very long comment. How can you decide to be on her side before knowing the full story? But that was not the truth at all. I occasionally went to the wall to chat to friends, went out with my dog, and that's all. Yes, I was homeschooled, but I was still well educated and socialized. Just because you don't understand and don't think it's the best way to be brought up, that's not my problem. I was constantly ostracized by these youths for it, but I never did anything bad. So they obviously never saw this, unfortunately. Because that was in 2010 and I didn't see it until 2016, which is when I replied. Anyway, so this is what I put, and oh no, that's not what I want. And now the thing that I put to Kirsty at the time, I didn't actually send to her. It was just me out of anger typing this, and it was also for a laugh and for entertainment and for exaggerated effect. So I didn't actually put all this.
Well, you know what, oh, get a life instead of blabbing. Unlive yourself and be spying. On sketch. I repeat, I did not actually send the below message, which yes looks extreme and cruel, but it was a vent. I did not reply this to her at the time. Dory and Narcissa Shaw, at least I am posh and well-mannered and nice and polite and smartly dressed and not some fucking scruffy scumbag hooligan like you who wouldn't know proper fucking style if it hits you in the face, and let's hope it does to cover all that ugly edge and fucking flesh. Eve. And that's me being nice. I could muster up so many hurtful truths and nasty comments to say, but you darn it, I'm so fucking nice. It's a curse, you know. Can you tell me to get a life? You and your stupid, ugly, pathetic, scruffy friends don't have much of a fucking life if all you can piss and think of doing in your free time is fucking harassing me and my mum, or come here and blinking pop your fucking ugly rank heads over my sobbing wall watching our lives and fucking smashing up our fences and shit HMMM and going on about things that happened months ago that really fuck all remembers or even bleeding cares about and should have gone out of everybody's pissing minds by side street or back street in the history of low-life mongrels who don't deserve all the pissing things you have in your life, such as a home and clothes, albeit them scruffy in a bed, albeit bloody sounding broken like your fucking brain. And I have a mind to come and fucking break all your windows and fences and see how you fucking like it, you fucking freaking lunatic piece of shit who needs to get a good smacking round your freaktastic face or just die. Would be preferable. And the only reason you fucking call me fucking stupid names like that is because you feel like a lowly piece of worthless shit off the streets that no one wants to date or be your fucking friend, and I don't fucking blame them. Which is so true. And you want to make someone else feel like that to make you feel better. Well, I do love your fucking pathetic attempts to insult me, but they are just that pathetic. Just like you. No fucker will ever love you not until you stop this pathetic piece of nonsense we normal people like to call antisocial behavior. Sorry to have to say this, but the only people who will be coming to your funeral is me and my mom. TOCOMPLETEFUCKINGGLYFUCKINGGRAVESTONE.
Oh, not again. Jeez. Just read it. The hell is he going on about? Where are we up
Just
to?
imagine a load of swear words incorporated into that speech, edited. And as for your bleeding jabs about my mom not sending me to school, she didn't because she didn't want me to end up
The
fucking
hell?
mixing with pissing lowlife fucking tramps like you, and I know that you would pissing much prefer it if your mom didn't send you
I
to
don't
fucking
see
school. You're
anymore.
only pissing jealous that you have to fucking go to bleeding school and work while I get to just stay home and do what the fuck I like. And so fucking what if my pastime is looking over my bloody wall and watching pissing passersby? At least I'm not doing
Pissing
any
passes
fucking
by.
harm. I'm not doing it unlike you fucking pissants who look over my wall bleeding spying on us in our own pissing garden. I'm fucking looking over and swearing at every fucker who
Yes, I
goes.
do.
I am I.
Safarian
So
like
shut
me.
your filthy fucking gut and try acting like a normal civil fucking human being instead of some
Civilized.
fucking wild animal blundering ape. You are such a disgrace, Kirsty Sullivan, to the entire female species. You don't do them justice at all with the way you fucking go around with a fucking foul pissing mouth on ya all the time, you big fucking ape. And you call me fucking ugly? Yeah, I've seen the fucking state of ya in your pictures. You look the exactly what you act like. A rundown, no good, low life, shabby fuck who seriously needs to put some makeup on or better fucking have a paper pissing bag dumped on your head to cover that martyrs fucking face of yours. And you go on about me not having any friends because I'm so fucking weird. If that was the reason, most of you stupid fucking creeps wouldn't have any friends either because you are the loudest, weirdest fucking two-faced schizophrenic freaks I have ever had the audacity of knowing. If I'm so fucking weird, I should fit in with all your stupid, annoying, pissing, moronic, hanging fucking weirdo friends. And you bandy the fucking word, scruffy, about far too much I have learned. I don't even think you know what it even means. You call me scruffy and I am the smartest, well-dressed person in the entire fecking town, and you even called my nephew, whom you've never even seen except in his fucking Facebook picture, in which he is topless, so how can you fucking call him scruffy either? So yeah, you just like to piss and call everyone you dislike fucking scruffy, and again, have you seen the state of yourself? These fucking stupid annoying scoundrels go around calling me a fucking scruff, and yet they don't even dress any better. So again, if I'm such a pissing scruff, I should fit in with them perfectly, shouldn't I? You know all these pissing freaking ugly pieces of filthy shit are calling me everything they are themselves and I am nothing like them. They just want to fucking drag me down with them because they know they are such scruffy weird pricks that they keep calling me to make them feel better about it, calling someone who is clearly fucking better than they are in every pissing single fucking way. They just cannot stand that, so they want to drag me down with them because they are no different than what they are making me out to be. They are practically just making me out to be one of them, and yet they fucking make me an outcast. All this is seriously fucking messed up, just like you lot of fucks are in the head. And obviously going to school hasn't made you any fucking more intelligent than me now, has it, if that is the way you lot fucking think? I know this all sounds over the top and makes bullied me in person and online quite often and for many years, including smashing up my property. People commented saying I sounded bad and I'm a terrible example of home chewing, but seriously? My spelling was far better, and again I didn't even reply to her really, let alone swear. But you have to admit at least I spelled everything correctly, unlike her who goes to school and spells atrociously thinking it sounds cool. So how can you say that home chewing is bad and public schooling is good when you see two very big contrasts here? Holmes, who spells correctly and has one slight outburst after years of bullying. Versus schoolgirl, can't spell, or shit and deliberately seeks me out to bully me both online and in person. Obviously years ago now. I've not heard anything since, but it pisses me off that everyone in the comments takes her side, the one who sought me out.
Sounds like it stopped. Okay. Well, that's the end of that then. I'll talk to you later. You're right, schools only make people even more toxic liars than they already are. People yell abuse at me often in real life, not sure why. Just like they would tell me. No, they won't tell me either. They just like to make me out to be an arsehole and that I've done all the wrong stuff. And it's like I said before, when they had no reason to, so they made up reasons along the way, so that if any, I suppose, asks them why they harass us, they, well, they did this, and oh, well, they did that, and, you know, like that sort of thing. Oh, well, they, they neglect animals, and, you know, all this all untrue stuff, and oh, she grabs people and chases people. And as I said, the only time I chased them was when they were coming trespassing, or they were damaging property, and I'd chase them away, or my mum would chase them away. One time my mum did chase them down the street, but again that's because she was so sick of them banging on the. And it's like, well, we only chased them because they came in and harassed us. That was my property I was chasing them out of. What would you prefer me do? Just let them trespass? Just allow them in my garden to vandalise? Yeah, okay, I'm sure you do the same, mate. Yeah, so it was actually, I mean, you could see they were on my property in the video, but they still thought I was just like, it's not as if I chased them randomly on the street for no reason, and they were just innocently going by, I could kind of understand, but they're not. They're actually in my property when I chase them. I'm running at them to get them out of my property, duh. I would actually like to know what all these righteous people who tell me what to do. I'd like to hear what they personally would do if they did the same to them. I really would. Be righteous to them and say, don't chase them then. Don't chase them then. You're right, Brad, they are retarded. Yeah, I'm sure they would just stay there and just watch them trespass and vandalise their property. I'm sure they'd probably do that. They'd just watch it happen from the window or the door or whatever. Yeah, probably right, they probably would. Probably just me as usual in the wrong. Just so hello there, hooligans. Having a good time in my garden, uninvited. Mower and banging on my window and in my windows and banging on the door and all that shit they used to do to us. Yeah. Probably what they would do, all these police people, all these righteous police people who say don't do this, don't do that, don't shout at them, don't go out, don't, you know, and neighbours saying that we encourage them or whatever, or I encourage them. They would do worse, I bet. If any of these people had to go through what we did, they would have bought a shotgun by now and killed them all. I'm pretty sure that's what they'd do. But because they're not in the situation, they'd rather be all righteous and say, oh, you're doing the wrong thing. You're not handling it properly. You should be more calm and you should ignore them and you should do this. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure you would do the same thing. You'd be out of your mind. mate. If you had to go through what we had to go through all these years, you'd be fecking out of your mind. Like I say, you would have had something done about it, or you would have taken the law into your own hands by now. Pretty sure. Bet you. People have even said it that they wouldn't know. They would have gone out of their minds if they were in the same situation. So. But like I say, it's easier for people to judge in it, blood. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Yeah, lucky. You all are.